earth my body, water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit.
From the chilling imagination of Rusty Aber, a legend comes to life.
I never wanted to do anything else other than make a fun kind of Halloween horror movie. You know, Halloween's my thing, you know, I absolutely adore Halloween. Christmas, Easter, all that can go out the window for all I care. Halloween's what I really care about. And every year it's like my pledge to myself that I will release a cool horror film that's set around Halloween every year. So, you know, I thought this year I was, you know, planning a double feature that I'd already done, Stay Out the Woods, a year or so before. And I was thinking, you know, I need another horror movie. Let's just do The Whistler. Let's just do The Whistler. You know, I've got ideas. The story had been brewing for about 3-4 years. I just thought, well, you know, it's time to do it. So, wrote down the plot line, built up some more backstory about the whole thing with the gypsy and the curse and stuff like that, and just it just grew from there. Really, just grew.
Feeling pretty good.
Tell us about the scene that you're hoping to film.
I'm probably going to be pretty messed up. It's going to be nasty, I think. Pretty bloody. Hopefully we're going to see Dan cry. Some tears would be nice, I think, a bit of emotion.
What do you reckon, Dan? Are you going to see some tears?
That's what it calls for. I think I'm down with that.
He's done it before, you can do it again?
This film, for me, was a little bit challenging at first. I didn't know if I was up to the role. You know, I was talked into it by Russ. So yeah, those were good. There was a point where we were sort of discussing different accents to do. So that one would be better and one would be easier and one would be, you know, I think at one point we were discussing doing southern accents and things like that. But no, it all worked out well. It's been a journey, but yeah, I'm glad I did it now. It's given me a hell of a lot more confidence in you know, my acting abilities and whatnot. But yeah, a cracking good laugh. I think that's key as well. Making a film is good, and you know, that's so cool. But if you can have a laugh at the same time, even better. You know.
I think we're going to see some tears from Rich.
We just generally see tears from Rich. A bit of blood about.
It's very important. This is a big pussy heart.
Yeah.
So we're on pretty much, I don't know, phase 4 of the makeup. I don't know. I don't know what phase it is, but it's a phase before the blood.
I've definitely not been introduced to these phases.
Well, you know, layer it on, do the best.
The very first idea of The Whistler was when I moved into my sort of then new house, and I was, as I've always been a little bit nocturnal, I got up about 3 in the morning, went to have a pee, and outside the bathroom window I could just hear like this whistling, which is just like, you know, the Whistler's whistle. And me, like in my semi-tired kind of, but still creative state, because that's what happens. As soon as you go to sleep or whatever, that's when everything starts going. Then you got to get up, write it down, and just madness. But when I first heard that, I originally just thought, wow, wouldn't it be spooky if you were walking out and maybe in the middle of nowhere or down a country lane or whatever, and just, you know, an hour before or whatever, you've been told that there's the legend of a killer called the Whistler or whatever, and you know that when you hear that whistle, that's the legend and he's there and he's going to come and get you. And I thought, wouldn't it be fucking spooky if you're walking and then you hear the whistle? That whistle, you know, it's 3 in the morning, there's a bit of an echo going on, there's no one else around, and it's, I don't know, it's some neighbour going to get a cat or a dog or whatever, and I just thought, wow, the Whistler. It's kind of cheesy, it's pretty bad, but it could work.
But there's your anti-smoking ad anyway.
Oh yeah.
Don't do it, it's not cool, it's not big, it's not clever.
And that's what happens if you
Using your
smoke.
head off for it. This is it.
Well,
We tried to write in kind of backstory that maybe it was a guy who, like, you know, was calling for his dog and he got killed when he was walking his dog, or maybe, you know, stuff like that. And it just worked better not to have any real backstory to him, just not from that level, just have that he was a serial killer, you know. And then it was written that he was a serial killer and he used to taunt people by whistling for them, stuff like that. But that was never really mentioned in the film. You know, I think the best kind of scary killer is the one that remains an enigma.
The Whistler is an intriguing character. It's sort of just instantly, I think, plucked from the mind of Rusty Apper. Yeah, he's definitely got an interesting story to tell, and I think if we do a sequel, it'd be kind of cool just to explore that a bit more. Because as we've left it, we've just sort of taken bits and pieces and let people come to their own decisions and, you know, their own conclusions.
The quiet town of Willow's End was visited by an unspeakable evil. He would roam the forests searching for victims. He tortured and killed dozens of innocent people and left a bloody legacy in what was one of the most horrifying tales in small-town history.
I wanted to make sure that people could watch the film and go, well, you know, they haven't taken this too seriously. Because at the end of the day, horror films nowadays, the real scare element isn't really there, and I don't think there are many films released that really scare you. I think sometimes if you try too hard, which I have done before, I am aware of that, if you try too hard, you can come off just looking a bit stupid. They could go, oh, you know, they've taken this way too seriously, they think they're fucking John Carpenter all over again, and, you know, just kind of doesn't really work out like that. So I thought elements of comedy in there would be funny, because I love the part with the clown guy, you know, the guy being sucked off in the toilet, and just, you know, stuff like that. Just, I thought it would be funny to throw little moments in, because I think if people have elements of comedy, they relax, they have a good time, and then I think that makes them buy into the story more.
They called him the Whistler. One night, he failed in his attempt to kill a local beggar. His bloodthirsty frustrations then drove him to snatch a young child from a cabin in the woods.
So, Paul.
Yes?
How do you know Russ?
Well, let's see.
When did you first meet?
I first met Russ about 3 years ago. And he was looking for a bald-headed Yank of a certain age to play a cop. And we did a film called Deadly Pursuit, in which he had me as a police detective. And now, fortunately, he's used me in just about every film he's done since then. It's great when you have a team like that. I'm not just talking about Russ and myself, but he tends to use the same crew, the same actors, because we can all work well together, and that's important. When you're doing a no-budget picture, you've got to be able to make every second count. Oh, by the way, I got this thing, peekaboo.
In this film, we are living in the dream world. The whole idea of curses and stuff like that, you know, although in my mind that's probably more closer to the reality world. If you ask me, I think things like that do exist, as I'm a big believer in paranormal. But it's a world where you have to believe anything, you just have to go with it. And I think the clincher was when you realise he has to be killed by silver bullets. Yeah, you must kill him with silver bullets. But then we're saying that, which everyone goes, that's crazy. Okay, so we're completely in the world of Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Mummy, and the Wolfman. But then, oh no, wait, Dan Bennett's character goes, he's not Dracula, he's not the Wolfman. So it's like, so obviously we're kind of in a world where anything goes, but we're also in a world where horror movies and fictitious characters such as Dracula and Frankenstein, they do exist. So it's kind of, it's twisting the reality. It's making you say, come into this dream world where anything goes, but wait, you're still in reality. Or are you?
And we're all doing it all with a bit of tongue in cheek, having a good time doing it. We're not really taking ourselves too seriously, but we want to make a good picture that is true to the genre of that era, and hopefully the fans of that type of pulp movie will appreciate what Russ has tried to do. He's a clever guy.
Yeah.
For a young man, he's got some good ideas. I figure by the time he's 35, he's going to be mainstream, and hopefully I'll still be around to be in his pictures.
It's been an absolute pleasure working with Rusty Apper, and I'm sure we'll make plenty more movies. watch this space. That's what I will say, because he's a budding young director. He's on the fast track to Hollywood.
Oh god.
How was it?
That actually looked really good.
That's good. That's good.
That was the one.
You right?
Yeah. There's the noise of making.
Oh God, here comes the guy now.
Whoa.
But this is my brother. And this is the way he normally looks. The mask is underneath. So I guess we're getting ready to do Russ's things. I just had my my show down at the OK Corral moment, and which was lots of fun to do.
Is that really?
Little kid again, you know, and that's so that Russ can dub in the sound when he gets back in the post-production. And now we're going to have his scenes, and then he's going to go back and work his magic. Match them both together, so it looks like we're really having it out together. And, I mean, don't take me the wrong way now. In the woods. Don't even take me the wrong way, Tom.
No.
Okay. Anyway, I better let him go back to work.
Yeah.
Nice chatting with you.
That's okay.
Bye-bye.
It was kind of hard at some points, just trying to juggle filming and acting and doing my regular 9-to-5 job as well. So it's a lot of late nights followed by stupidly early mornings, which I've just been like, oh God, I can't do both. I'm going to have to either quit my job or just, you know, go into this head on. Luckily, you know, it didn't come to that.
I had a lot of ideas for The Whistler, and there were bits and pieces floating around for a long time that, you know, I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if you had that? Wouldn't it be cool if they had that? I mean, there were scenes that were going to be shot that didn't get, you know, put in the final edit because we didn't have time to shoot them. You know, there was going to be a scene with Rami Hilmi where he kind of was with his girlfriend in the woods, and he goes up to his girlfriend and their head falls off and stuff like that. But we just didn't have the time to do it. But at the same time, I think everything that we needed was in the film. I'm really happy with the final cut, and I think everybody on the film did a fantastic job. I can't fault any of the performances in there.
The rest of the cast, it was an absolute joy working with them. It seems like we all sort of had this rapport with one another, and yeah, there was no butting heads. It was all we kept it kind of fluid, and yeah.
Ready for my close-up?
Yeah? You've had your close-up already, mate.
Well, you know.
How did it go? It was alright?
Yeah, it was alright. I'm a bit blurry.
Yeah, it takes a little bit.
My vision is somewhat contested, but you know, I've been worse after a couple of drinks, so it's alright, really. It's generally probably what I look like in the mornings as well.
All good, thanks, man.
It's cool.
It always helps when you're working with people that are willing to just sort of say, yeah, okay, this idea is good, can I put my own stuff in there? And we all there's a lot of give and take in it. Joe was cool to work with, Joe Lombardi. He was, I think he was maybe the first person that I actually had a, you know, double scene with. Yeah, and straight away he was coming to this full of energy, and yeah, but all of them. I enjoyed working with everyone here.
This is my first time really on a bigger film casting Dan as the lead, and I'm extremely happy I did that, because he brought like a reality and a talent to the role. You know, I think he made it believable, because he was meant to be this every guy kind of character who is torn between pain, his own demons. You know, the thing with his mother dying is that we didn't want him to be like a tortured soul through the whole film. As you can see at the beginning of the film, he's quite happy, you know, because his mother died a while ago. He is getting over it, you know, he's just like anyone else, so I didn't want that huge drama element to be into it. But then of course when his friend dies, obviously he's depressed, and then it brings back the depression from his mother dying. So instead of having him this kind of comatose character from part one, from the start, I just wanted him to be a happy guy who was, you know, he's had shit in his life and he's dealing with it. But then when this thing happens, all hell breaks loose.
Okay. I'm sorry to be calling. I know it's late where you are. Look, something terrible's happened. Tim's been murdered. And I can't help but think it's somehow my fault. It was a bit challenging doing a few of the emotional scenes for me. I don't know, I never really did that to begin with, but yeah. I think there was a scene where I was on the phone and I had to sort of tap into some emotion there. Hey! I hate Halloween.
And Dan did a tremendous job with it, and I'm so happy I got him in the lead, because you know, it was so much fun working with him, and he did it perfectly. I couldn't have asked any more from him.
Yeah, people reacted really well to it, which again I think that speaks volumes about what I thought I could do and what I actually can do. But yeah, that was we did a few different takes of that, and yeah, I was just trying to get into the moment and, you know, trying to feel it, and yeah, it worked out well.
I think that all the Halloween setting was the most fun stuff to do. You know, the Halloween party, the main sort of dancey parts of the Halloween party we shot in the middle of the day on Friday morning, and then the other bits were done at night, and then there were little inserts put in here and there. I knew that I only wanted to have the Whistler unmasked in the final scene. You know, I didn't want him to be shown up all through the movie, because there's always that kind of thing of, you know, what is behind the mask? You're not always meant to know.
Howdy. You gonna interview me or what?
Yeah, good, yeah?
Yeah, good. Paul, come and say a few words for the thing.
What are we doing?
I don't know, we're talking. Well, what are we doing?
We just had this Clint Eastwood moment. I can't say that. No. We didn't take anything from anybody. No, and I had a hard time. It's hard shooting with one eye. Hello. But Russ works his magic.
I do?
What we have to be careful of when we do these things is we can't go. As one tends to do, because we're all kids at heart. You know, so it's
very important. You have to have the sound effects.
Yes.
For the final scene, I had the full Whistler outfit on. I also had like a foam latex prosthetic, full over the face appliance that was glued on and painted and stuff like that. It was fun to do. It was odd being so caked in like a killer's outfit, but yet still having to direct, because you know, it is all these people around. You've got extras that are doing acting roles. That night we had everything. We had the extras, the special effects, the gore, pyrotechnics, fire stuff, stunts. It was everything that were more complicated than any other scene in the whole film. Everything was chucked in that night, plus that was the night that I had the heaviest makeup job. So that's why afterwards, when we went to shoot Steph Richfield's scene with the Wolfman, it was actually Rich Brewer who stood in as the Whistler and put on the outfit, because I was like, I can't be bothered to put all this on again. You put it on and I'll just direct you. And I think he did a good job. But hopefully he's not going to be one of those that runs around saying he was the Whistler for the whole film. Oh, the makeup was uncomfortable because there was latex and kind of adhesive and all this stuff, and a wig and a hat and all this stuff, and of course, and then I've got drops in my eyes. I had drops in my eyes to make my eyes more black, and you know, it's just it's tough being the killer, but it is the most fun role, which is why I bags it every single time. And then you have the scene where the Whistler's eye opens. I mean, that was just me on my knees in my kitchen floor with the camera propped up in front of me, black around my face with the lights off and the little light underneath me, eye drops in my eyes, just sat there going you know, just trying to make it look like he's woken up. But of course it's great fun, and that's why we do it.
Halloween is my Christmas. It's as far as I'm concerned, it kicks the crap out of Christmas. I don't really do Christian holidays because it just seems they're pointless in my eyes. I mean, yeah, hey. But Halloween is the best. Get to dress up and go out there and scare the crap out of people. That's what I'm all about. That's what I'm all about. Wham! Wham! Wham!
Oh.
Or when did I get a quick shot just there? This is a thing now. Don't let my mother see that.
It was like the dying cough.
There was. I like the. Yeah, I can use it all. I thought you were going to say you could taste the coffee.
No.
Because there is coffee in there.
Hi. Hi.
How do you feel, Paul?
Pool time. Well, that was probably the worst strawberry frap I've ever had. I want to show you something. Hold on. See what it says here? Jack Daniels. Good stuff, but not in this bottle. Thank you.
Paul Kelleher as the Drifter was just incredible. You know, every time I throw Paul a role, he just runs with it, and that's what I love. I mean, and he actually wrote all of the Latin stuff that appears in the sort of semi-finale. He just has an enthusiasm for every role he does, and he grabs it with open arms and writes bits for it. I mean, nearly every single film he will probably receive an additional dialogue credit because he does rewrite the stuff that I write and he makes it a billion times better. I've read stuff that he's written and ideas that he has, and this guy is, and as well as being an amazing actor, he's also an amazing writer waiting to happen. So, you know, maybe one day he'll hang up the acting boots and sit down with the typewriter and become, you know, the next big thing. But it's always a pleasure to work with him, and he does a great job. He brings that element of realism because he's the guy who can kind of go a little bit crazy. He always gets lumbered with the role that is crazy enough to explain the whole backstory, but still has to be believable. It's the same with Spirits of the Fall. He has to be that guy who is telling you these ridiculous things, but you're supposed to level with him, believe him, and appreciate what he's saying and take it as the truth. So he does get the hardest part sometimes, because nobody wants to be the guy that bursts in and goes, "Oh, it's a supernatural being, he's going to kill us all, I'm going to shoot him with it." You know, you just don't want to have that part, because everybody, I think, sometimes wants to play the more realistic role. Because that's where all the acting kudos goes. But in this case, I think he does a great job of bringing the two together. I think he's believable, and he gets everything across that he needs to.
Action, Joe. And that was good. Do it again. Do it as soon as the lights come.
How'd we get this motherfucker to show his face, man?
Well, apparently we just go down to the tree and whistle. And if he whistles back, you're dead.
Sounds fucking lame, but still.
What was that?
I have no idea.
Oh.
Sounds fucking lame, but still.
What was that?
I have no idea.
Oh, that was a shock. That was a shock.
It's too much lead. Just start off from that again. There's your fright scene. Throw the crow in that.
That's cool.
Joe Lombardi was just a guy that I met at Frankie and Benny's. I think we went out for lunch, and actually I was planning an idea for a comic book type idea I had, and I noticed that he was in love with comic books, so much so that the character I wanted him to play, it kind of became apparent to me that okay, this guy might not have any acting experience, but he's so passionate about this that I think he can pull it off because he has charisma and he's confident. So I said to him, you know, would you like to play this part in another movie I'm doing? And then that led to The Whistler. I was like, do you want to play this part? And he wound up being one of the lead actors and one of the best actors in the movie. He did a fantastic job, and he's just natural behind the camera, in front of the camera. So that part as Tim Donovan, he just he did a great job with it. And again, you like him. He's a bit of an arse, but in a funny kind of way. You like him, and he's believable. So you know, he did an awesome job. And Melissa Stanton played the gypsy. She did a fantastic job, and she's actually a real Wiccan and clairvoyant in real life. And I said to her, do you get these kind of roles much? You know, because I cast her as a clairvoyant in the Spirits of the Fall, and she was like, you know, I never get these kind of roles. I never get asked to play anything like this. So, kind of getting a character that's closer to her as a person. She's less crazy than the actual gypsy. I just want to say that for the record. But you know, to get her to be a role that's more close to her was brilliant. And I think she appreciated it because, like she said, no one ever cast me as a clairvoyant. I never get cast as this and that. So it was like by pure chance that I would ask her to do this role, and then she's really into this stuff. So I think she brought an element to the character that no one else could have brought to it. I think she just did it perfectly.
Hi. This is Dan Bennett.
Hi. I don't know what we're doing.
We are doing Paul's final scene as he's getting ready, applying the belt. He's going to be doing the finale, his finale, so I won't give away too much, but it should be a good scene. We're actually shooting day for night, so we're going to colour grade it and all that stuff, so it should be good.
So you're cheating?
Cheating, yes, it makes things easier that way. But then film is cheating anyway, so why would I not?
How do you feel about it, Dan?
No comment.
The end of all days.
Let's have the one guy.
Huh? Oh shit, that's right. I'm fucking myself. Alright. Where do I pick it up from?
That's right, go straight from there.
I'll go, let's see.
You come from oh yes! Behind! I did not see him. Oh.
One take Kelleher.
Okay, so let's just.
Who would have thought Jack Daniels made the best fake blood?
Rush. I'm gonna
There you go. And action.
Grease collar, blood on my face.
There you go. It's gonna be a bit cool. All good, all good.
You're right. Did I do well?
So anyway, this is a wrap for Paul Kelleher on The Whistler.
Thank you.
Well done, my man.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job,
Thank you.
friend.
If you see red Jack Daniels in the store, do not buy it. I tell you.
Another one of those roles that's kind of so far into fiction but has to kind of be realistic and believable was the role of Julia, which was brilliantly played by Charlotte Richfield, and she just did such a great job. I mean, that was my old college where I used to go and where I studied film, and we went up there and we filmed her scene, and again she's got the scene where she has to kind of say the unbelievable but make it believable, you know, and that's not easy. That is really not an easy task. And I needed an air of confidence but yet vulnerability at the same time, with a little bit of a simpleton kind of twist on it. So, you know, she just did it perfectly. And that's why, you know, she's an actress. She's born to do that kind of thing, obviously. So I think her performance speaks for itself, and I don't think anyone else could have played the part as well. So, you know, kudos to her, because it really gave the film an element that it needed, because we needed someone to be a witness. We needed someone to come forward and say, I think I've seen this guy, you know, here's my story, believe it or not. And I think, while you're kind of going, did this really happen? I don't believe it. Because Dan's character is sat there going, nah, she's a nutcase. But at the same time, she's not. Everything she's saying is completely true. And that needs to come forward to the audience as well. So, definitely, big thumbs up to her, because she did such a good job. And like I said, with everyone on the film, I'm so happy with everyone. And it was such a great job they did. I even got Steph Richfield, who's the guitarist in my band Echo. I even got him involved and got him playing the Wolfman. And that's why there's a scene before that, the party scene, and suddenly we cut to him out in the open looking for the party, and I had a bit of dialogue so that you can hear me doing the voiceover going, hey, where's the Wolfman? Because otherwise it made no sense. And there's a couple of moments that when I got into the editing room, I realised, we need some extra tiny little bits to patch things up. That's why there's the shot of the phone conversation. The phone rings, you have a big slow zoom in, and you can just hear the voiceover saying, hey, we got a big party tonight, you got to be there. Because suddenly we're at a party, and I'm like, people are going to think, why are we having a party? Is this Justin's party? Why is he having a party? What's going on? So I needed something to explain, there's going to be a party tonight. It's not Justin's party, but it's at his house. So, you know, it's not until you edit the film together and you realise the bits you don't need, the bits that you don't have that you do need, and then you're sat there thinking, damn it, I need to go and shoot this right now. And I think after the finale as well, at about 4 or 5 in the morning, I just finished editing and I realised, damn it, I didn't get the shot of the knife being picked up, because we need the Whistler to obtain a knife to slit Nathan Bellow's throat. So I'm sat there falling asleep trying to edit, get this stuff together, put it down on the table, film it, put the Whistler glove on and grab the knife and then put it in the film. And that's independent filmmaking. You know, I should have had a second unit guy to do that, but no, I did it myself.
In a film capacity, I was there when he bought his first camera, and he got it out of the box and he went, do you want to make a movie then? Yeah,
that's right. It.
And that's when it began.
Begun.
And yeah, that's the one. I knew from that day he'd become something special.
Awesome.
No, really. I didn't think he'd make it.
What was the first film you appeared with him in?
The first one we don't talk about, because it was awful.
Oh yes, one of those kind of films.
It was quite awful. It was a zombie movie. It was called Dead Men Walking. Cliche. Yeah, it was awful. But we learned a lot from it, I guess.
Is this the first film that you starred in?
I think so.
And how did that come about?
I have no idea.
No idea?
No idea.
Did he think that you were perfect for the role, or could he not find anyone else?
I think it's a case of I'm easiest to plan a schedule around, so I got the lead.
Alright. Okay.
It's got nothing to do with my acting abilities or anything like that. I know.
That's pretty good.
I know.
And what do you think of your accent and your performance and the experience of the film and working with Russell?
See, I'm in two minds about it, because when I first jumped into this project I thought I'm not good enough, and I was really self-conscious about everything. But then I get compliments all the time saying, yeah, I'm a lot better now than I was, and yeah, and it's all good, which makes me feel better about, you know.
Yeah, and you've had the opportunity to work with different actors, and such as Claire and Joe. And
oh, definitely.
Paul
and here's
everyone.
One of the. Thank you. There's one of them now. Paul, a great actor. you can take the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do work with some characters in the business.
Could you?
It's great fun.
Such as?
Characters.
What was it? Joe, Claire, Paul.
Yeah, well, everyone's
Russell.
a character in their own right.
There was a lot of chance in the film. There was a lot of chance. I mean, I met Joe Lombardi. He was a waiter, and he turned out to be interested in acting. Nathan Bellows, who plays the pirate at the party, he was a guy I knew as a musician, and he came along, did the role, and said, well, actually, I do extra work, and I've done a bit of acting. So that was great. It turns out that Chloe Sharma, which is Joe's girlfriend, who plays the superhero girl at the party, I kind of brought her along. I didn't know she was into acting, which she was, you know, and it's just it just kind of fell into place, and it was just brilliant.
Big strides.
Big strides. Just
Yeah,
I'm filming this.
It's all good. It's all good. Okay, I think that'll do. I've had enough.
And you're very excited about it and looking forward to the
very much,
future.
Very much.
He thinks he's the star. Russ is.
Big wishes.
We call Russell
Hi.
Russell Token.
how's it going?
'Cause he's ginger. It's awesome. Why did you make this film, Russell?
Why did I make this film?
What's wrong with you?
Because I don't want to get a real job. That's why I made this film. No, I'm kidding. I'm not really. No, when I moved into my house, it was about 3 in the morning, because I'm nocturnal. And I
You
went to
moved
use-
into your house at 3 in the morning?
No, not like that.
Okay.
And I got up in the middle of the night, and I went to use the loo, and I heard this whistling in the back garden. There was some woman who had cats, I don't know. And I just kind of thought, well, it'd be creepy if you heard this legend of this whistling thing, and then you're in the middle of nowhere, then you heard this whistling, it'd probably freak you out. So, it's pretty loose, but that's pretty much what I based it on. And I thought, well, this guy could be up there with Freddie and Jason, surely one day. Who
Freddie
knows?
Mercury.
There he is now. Ah, who gave me this? So yeah, no, it's alright. I'm really happy with all the actors and everyone who's helped out. It's going quite well. It's going to be a cool film.
And that thing is real, isn't it?
It's real. It's as real as it comes. I've actually chopped
Terrible.
things up. You can see me actually cutting through wood with it. It's as real as it comes. So, on my back. So yeah, it's all good.
And what's next for you now?
Yeah, it fell off.
What's next for you, Russell?
What's next for me? I'm going to finish the film. Slow down, Chuck Norris.
What's
We're gonna
after
finish the
this?
film.
I want to know.
What's after this?
Whistler 2.
A break, I think, a holiday, lots of money. Whistler 2, maybe. No, it's going to be releasing a double feature along with Stay Out of the Woods. After this, we're going to finish off Cocaine Saints, which should be out January, February time. After that, possibly Dead Ahead, which is the next one that's been written. Who knows? So.
And stay the what is it? The A, the B side.
He's going to do a pirate movie.
Ow!
Our mate is the green-eyed pirate. Look at him. Look at him. He come from way across. Army arties. Yes, he did.
There's Newton. Did you find the ending?
No.
What? So yeah, pretty much.
You don't look very dangerous to me.
Smells of coffee.
Green-eyed pirate. I'm going home. I gotta take
And so this film, I've heard rumours that there'll be some Gecko songs in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You should
Shed
check
me
it
light
out.
on that.
You should check them out.
Overall, the film was just meant to be a really good fun, funny in places, gory, kind of kooky, scary, kind of Halloween slasher. And I couldn't be more happy with it. I mean, it's honestly one of the first films I've ever made where I've looked at it and gone, yeah, I'm almost completely happy with this film. You know, I think, and it's down to everyone else's work. You know, everyone, Dan, Richard Brewer, you know, everybody who played all the parts, all the extras, everyone who got involved was just flawless. And we didn't actually spend that much time on the film. I think overall we got it finished in about possibly 2.5 months. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy watching it. I actually like watching it, and I'll watch it again and again. And that's rare for me, because normally I watch a film to make sure everything works, make sure everything's, you know, as it should be, and then I'm like, okay, I'll put it in the stack now and start on the new one. I never want to see that again. You know what I mean? I just want to hear other people's thoughts. I don't want to see it again. But I enjoy watching it even more, you know, after I've finished editing, even though I've been sat there with it for months. You know, I enjoy watching it as a viewer, and I don't mind. It's like a film that I would actually want to see myself. You know, because there's some of my films before I've made that even when I look at them, I think, if I bought this, I would probably be a little bit disappointed, because there's a lot of mistakes and there's things that shouldn't be the way they are. But now, when I watch this one, I look at it and go, yeah, if I got this, I think I'd be happy with it. So, I mean, you're only as good as the people you work with, so everyone around me just helped to make the movie amazing. So I'm extremely happy. And of course, hopefully I'll have the same great crew and cast and all that on the next film. So hopefully we can make another film. And then of course there's The Whistler 2.
A sequel to The Whistler? Well... Maybe. We've been toying with the idea. I can't say if we're doing one or not. This is, at the moment it's still a pipe dream, but I really hope we do come back for another Whistler, because it's been a great laugh doing this one. We've had so much fun. And I think the idea is just sound, you know. So if you can ride the gravy train, you know. Yeah, I'd be more than willing to come back for another Whistler movie. The final cut of the film, I think, looks great. I couldn't be happier with it. I'm not sure what I was expecting of it, but yeah, it looks great. I don't know if I was expecting it better or worse, but yeah, I think it looks spot on. I'm very happy with it.